היי חברים, אז הסרטון הזה בעצם מדבר על צורת העולם ולמה זה משנה לדבר על צורת העולם, איך אנחנו יכולים להוכיח שהיא איננה מה שמספרים לנו והיא לא כדורית. שוב, למה זה משנה? למה שיהיה לנו אכפת בעצם? איך זה משפיע עלינו, עליי, עליך? איך זה משנה משהו בחיים שלנו לדעת איפה אנחנו נמצאים? אז ככה הלכתי לברר את זה גם באנגלית, אחרי שהייתה לי שיחה לא מזמן בעברית על הנושא הזה, לקבל עוד אינפורמציה ועוד רבדים של התבוננות, נקודות מבט. אז פגשתי את דיוויד וייס, ואתם מוזמנים למי שמתחבר ומבין אנגלית להיכנס להמשיך בעצם את הסרטון הזה, ותהנו, תלמדו משהו חדש, ואם יש לכם שאלות, הערות, אז אשמח שתעשו את זה בתגובות. מוזמנים גם להירשם לערוץ. אני באמת כרגע מרגיש שאני לא בדיוק יודע מה הדברים הבאים שהערוץ הזה הולך ליצור, מעבר לדברים שעד עכשיו ראיתם כאן, שזה בעיקר מוזיקה, קצת תכנים של השראה. אני רוצה לעלות ללבל הבא של הערוץ הזה, ולכן אני גם אשמח לערב אתכם, הסאבסקרייברים, שבאמת אם יש לכם רצונות מסוימים, כיווני חשיבה, כיווני תודעה, תפיסה, מודעות, שמעניינים אתכם והייתם רוצים ללמוד עליהם, או משהו אחר, אז תרשו לעצמכם לכתוב את זה גם בתגובות, ואנחנו נשוחח בהתאם. יאללה, תהנו. Enjoy.
Good to go.
Hey, David, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, David.
Yeah.
Nice name.
Yeah, it is. So, first of all, I haven't spoken like a long conversation in English for a long while, so I hope it will, go right.
That's good.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah. And I like to meet people and to learn things that I don't know. And I saw some of your videos and got me very interested, and I learned some of yours and others, and I wanted to ask you how you got into flat earth.
Probably the same way you did, where you heard about it,
Right,
and you laughed at it, and then something made you look.
yes,
and you used your actual mind rather than programming that has no validation. Like when I say that, like the teacher goes, the earth is a globe, and you go, okay, that's not validation. That's just an empty statement. So once you look and break the programming, then everything changes. How long have you known that we don't live on a spinning ball flying through a space vacuum?
I think I've been messing with it for 2 years now, and pretty much I think one and a half years that I'm sure that it's a lie.
And how has that changed your life? What difference does it make? Don't you still have to go to work?
Well, our work and lifestyle is not exactly conventional, but it changes my life in a way that most of the people that I know, including the closest ones, are, thinking I'm pretty messed up, that I don't believe in a globe.
It always starts that way, which, the way I look at that is it gives you something to work towards. You see the truth. They haven't looked yet. So now you have time to figure out a way to get them to see. It's a never-ending challenge.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. Exactly. So, okay. And my second question for you is why, or you know what makes you do what you do when you go in all of these interviews and, I mean, you know, carry the flag of this truth?
Because when I die, at least I know that I tried to help people see where we are, help people regain their freedom. I mean, the heliocentric satanic globe lie is a prison. It steals your divinity. It takes away your true connection to source. It depowers you, and it helps the world remain as a slave. I want, not just for my kids, for me, I want a free world. And as you know, with what's going on right now, the world is insane. Things are getting locked down. And this is all because people believe they're spinning out of control, lost in space. If you can convince somebody that the stationary level plane that they're on is corkscrewing through an infinite space vacuum, which is impossible, then you can convince them of boogeymen in the air flying around that are going to kill you.
Yeah, and wear masks and all of that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say too much because we'll be on YouTube, and you're not allowed to say truth on YouTube. So I don't know why my grandmother never told me if I put a piece of toxic paper over my face that it would protect me from things.
Right. Agree. So actually for me, I learned animation and graphic design and other things from that kind. So, and still, my mind was so in this, as you said, prison, that I never thought that someone might have, used all of these methods and the technology to take my freedom, to take away my freedom. Then lately, when I see it, it all seems like, I don't know.
Once you see it, once you see it, you can't not see it anymore. And that's the thing. So you're in a situation right now where you and then your friends, family, significant others around you, they think you're crazy.
Right.
Okay. And normally the crazy person thinks that they're not crazy and everyone else is crazy. And that's where we are. We are, in their opinion, the crazy person. Mm-hmm. But you see reality. What are the chances that they're going to convince you that the earth is a globe? Zero. What are the chances that you're going to be able to show them that the earth is not a globe? Over 50%, I'd say. Okay. Who's got the advantage? You do. You've got the advantage. And here's one thing I tell people, and it does get people's attention. If you have somebody close to you that's like, oh, it's so stupid, you can kind of play into them. You go, yeah, you could be right. This guy's offering 3 Bitcoins for 1 globe proof. Help me. And then sit down and watch GoDD's 21 questions with them and say, let's debunk this. Let's find 1 proof. We live on a globe. It's easy. There's thousands of proofs we live on a globe. And then as soon as they start trying to help you, boom, you now got 1. They become a flat earther.
Let me show you something that someone showed me a few days ago. I'm not sure, but let me try. I told them that water always keeping level. That's what I learned, and I still believe in it. And then he says, give me a glass of water, and then he pulls the water like this, and he goes all the way
to the top, and it bows over the top, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's how why when I ever say water lays flat, I never say water lays flat. I always say large bodies of water at rest lay flat. Yes, surface tension on a cup of water can create a bow, but try that in a 10-gallon bucket, in a 50-gallon bucket, right? It won't, but it'll be level across the top. You might get a little bowing on the edge, but something that big, it's the water pressure is going to break that surface tension. A drop of water will create a sphere. That's just surface tension. But anything over, let's just say 10 gallons, lays flat. Large bodies of water lay flat. There's no, imagine this was a perfect rim of this lake, right? Imagine it's a perfect rim. And would that water bow over? No, it wouldn't. I mean, you might be able to get it up a fraction of a millimeter above.
Right.
Then the whole surface is flat. And as soon as you break that surface tension, it's going to flow out. Okay. He doesn't live in a glass of water. He lives in a much bigger place where water at rest, large bodies of water at rest, lay flat. And when you say we live on a flat earth, well, the people like that will go, there's mountains and valleys and stuff. We live on a level plane, a level horizontal plane. Large bodies of water at rest are horizontal. There you go.
Yep. I heard, like, in I think they pretty much use it in the Matrix movie, like a theory. They don't say it out loud, but like it will live on a realm, like it's, you feel it has to do with it.
What do you mean by a realm?
Like,
what are you trying to say?
Like a dream, like when you have a field, like endless field, maybe like infinity, maybe, I don't know.
That's we're all trying to figure that out. The way I see the world is we live on this dielectric plane. There's a energy field around us. It might go under us too.
Mm-hmm.
And we live on this flat plane in between. And what I've learned, and one of the things that they're trying to keep from us, is our brains are very powerful. Our words are casting spells. They cast spells with us all the time. And our thoughts create reality. So we live on a plane. Our thoughts create things. That sounds pretty friggin' realmish to me.
Right.
Okay? Yeah. So we don't live on a spinning rock flying through an infinite space vacuum. End of story. A level plane doesn't move. What's above us, what's below us, who made it, how does it work? How do things actually manifest when you think them? You think them into existence. Okay? How does that work? I don't know. But it's pretty cool.
Sometimes I think it has to do with the language. I study and I work with the Hebrew language, and
that's some serious stuff there. I mean, I watched some people decode that. Amazing. And then the English language is a weapon system. If you say hello, you're saying hell to them. If you say good morning, you're saying good death. Morning, somebody dies, you're mourning them. Okay? I never say good morning anymore. I say hi. I said, how you doing? Good day. Never good morning. Right? Wow. And there's so many of these things that they use.
Wow. Yeah. In Hebrew, it's like someone told me don't mess with it. It's too much for the mind. It's too much to handle. And in a way, it is. But I don't know. Maybe it's curiosity.
I met a guy in Mexico just recently who was explaining how all the information of everything that we ever need to know is right there within our reach. And he taps into this information and gets it. Anything he needs, it's all there. He calls it the Akashic Records, which many people have heard. Mm-hmm. And it's all there, but they've disconnected us. They've fluoridated our pineal glands, which is our Wi-Fi antenna. Mm-hmm. They've distracted our minds with the news. All right. Right now we have the war in
Yeah.
Russia, and it's all, you know, it's all about distraction. 1959, Admiral Byrd. There's more land filled with resources, not even covered with snow, that no human has ever stepped foot upon. It can power the whole world with valuable minerals at a time where we're all having wars. And they go, huh, Antarctic Treaty, nobody can go there. Go deforest the Amazon, that's fine. Oh, look, up there, the moon, that's where we're going. We're going to the moon, someplace you can't verify. Then the moon, you know, kind of gets overplayed. You know, people were like upset in the 1960s when they were showing the moon landing because it preempted I Love Lucy, the television show. And people were complaining to the network that they wanted to watch I Love Lucy rather than men go to the moon. Okay. Wow. So then they switched to, you know, other things, wars. Now they're like, oh, look, you know, the Ukraine, yes. You know, first we got the buggy thing that's going after everybody, right? This thing right here. Okay. And now they're like, oh no, the war. And I was just watching clips on Twitter, and somebody's breaking them down already. They show like people with their bags and their backpacks and their pillowcases, and the same people looped around twice. What they're showing is staged. Now, is there stuff going on there? Maybe. I don't know. Right? One thing the news hasn't reported on, there's been 5 helicopter crashes in the United States in the last 3 days. What's going on there? 5 helicopters, separate, unrelated. I think 2 of them were in the same area, and people are speculating maybe it's the 5 letter. I don't want to say it because it'll flag. The new towers that are going up that the airlines were worried about when they power these things on. Maybe that's going on. Who knows? Yeah, they're not covering this stuff. So this is what's going on in the world right now, is they want everybody in panic, everybody focusing on this war that they've created. But if everybody says no, they can't do it. But people are getting sucked into it already. It's only been 1 day. We'll see what happens.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in a little shift, how do you, I mean, I saw some of your proofs, but I'd love to see it now. How do you prove that the CGI is fake?
How do you prove
the CGI is CGI?
Yeah, because it's fake. I mean, we have
exactly.
I mean, it's I'm trying to let me think.
You have this video when you see the sun and everything around it, right?
Oh, you mean the sun and the clouds?
No, when you see like in space, when it goes like this, you know, and everything spins around, and the sun goes and all the stars are around it like this. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
You see a sun, and then like you see Earth and all the closest stars, and they move around, and you see the sun goes together with that, something like that.
Oh, you mean the heliocentric nonsense model that they say that we live on?
Right.
Like this thing.
Yeah.
So this is CGI. There's no question about it, but this is where people believe that we live. We're on a ball. We're spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. So when you watch the sunset, you're falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound. That's crazy. Okay. You're orbiting the sun at 66,000 miles an hour. You're chasing the sun at 500,000 miles per hour. And just for good measure, that entire system is moving sideways at 2.2 million miles per hour. Okay.
Right.
And then we see lakes, like I just showed you before, that are perfectly still and horizontal.
And what is it about the sun you showed me before?
Which thing?
The video you showed one before that, of the sun and the clouds.
Oh, I was just, that one is on sunsets. So this is the sun just going away, and I pasted these clouds in here. Clouds look like they're getting lower due to perspective, and the sun just goes beyond. It just goes beyond, right? I'm going to try something I never tried before. Can my finger hide this entire sun? Right? Can my finger hide this entire thing?
Seems like not, but I don't know.
It's like not. But if my finger was here and then I move the sun,
right?
Look,
I guess you can. If you make the finger even close to the camera, maybe.
Yeah, it's almost completely. Can't do it. I'm trying to watch.
Yeah, it's almost gone.
Yeah. And then this, whether it's the top of a mountain, a cloud deck, it's up there, but when it moves away, it's at your eye level. Everything goes to eye level. And anything above that will look like it's disappearing from the bottom up. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show this for anyone listening, anybody watching. You've seen my flat earth kitchen. So I'm moving the sun along this level line. This line is level. And we're looking at it from an elevated celestial point of view. And it's going to go beyond over this. This could be a mountain, a city skyline, or this cloud deck, but it never goes below it. Now I got a camera on the counter, which is much lower than this on the other end. We're going to watch the same thing from the other point of view. If I showed you this first, I would say, is this line level? And you would say, no, it's going down. And I'd say, is this sun going below this line, which appears to be at eye level, but we know it's not. I'm much lower, right? When something moves away, it becomes eye level.
That's perspective?
This is perspective. Look at this line. This line is level. You would never believe it's level if you didn't know what was going on. Okay? And so here it is, the sun going away, and here's the real sun going away. Same thing. Look, it's going behind this atmospheric deck of opaqueness. See, this is just where the atmosphere becomes opaque. And it's doing exactly what we're seeing. What's opaque? Opaque is you can't see through it. Oh, like if I had a window, like you look through it. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, fog is semi-opaque. If I had a pane of glass, you can look right through the window, no problem. And then if I stack 10 pieces of glass together, you can still see through it. But if I stacked 100 of them together, you can't see through it anymore. And the same thing with the air. When you're looking across the air column, you can't see through it. This is and here's an example of that. The sun is going away. The sun went down, 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 down. If we were spinning, it should have just kept going, but it didn't. It went down, 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 and then it stopped. And it sat here for 10 minutes. And I'm filming this from my drone. Super, super, super clear day, below freezing, no humidity in the air. And the sun stopped going down, and now it's just going away. And it's getting to the point where it can't push through the atmosphere anymore. And it's gone. It's still there, but we can't see it. Its throw of light can't push through. Pretty
First,
cool,
it
right?
looks a little bit like it shrinks, and then it looks like it just fades away.
Yeah. My friends at the beach saw the sun set from the bottom up 10 minutes earlier.
Amazing. So, do you have any connection to the mystical side of it? To the, if it's astrology or any other stuff?
Zero.
Really?
I'm just learning about this stuff.
Okay.
I mean, connection to the mystical side. I mean, you want to learn about the mystical side, watch Santos Bonacci on Mr. Astro Theology channel or the Syncretism Society. He gets into all of that stuff. I love his work, but that's a little bit above my ability to explain it to others.
Okay, I'll just ask you later to write me the name so I'll find it.
Sure.
Okay. I had something to tell you about it, but now I forgot it. So I'll ask you something else. I saw how you showed something about the Pluto star. And it was so weird and funny to see it. And if you have more like these things that, I mean, I see that they put the globe in every, you know, it's in the movies industry, it's everywhere.
Like this Pluto.
Yeah.
So supposedly we have a satellite or whatever, a probe going whizzing 60,000 miles an hour past Pluto, and it was able to take this picture. Okay. Well, first, Pluto's so far away from the sun that the sun looks like a star. How did that star light Pluto up like this? How did it get a high def picture going 60,000 miles an hour of a full Pluto and send it back to Earth? Where when Felix Baumgarten, the guy that did Baumgartner, I'll never get his name right, did the Red Bull space jump, he was up 127,000 feet and they lost connection with him. They couldn't talk to him at 127,000 feet. But this spacecraft is able to email a friggin' picture back to Earth. And then this is a desert. What is this? But it looks like the dog Pluto. I mean, that's just a coincidence, right?
Probably.
And did you know that Pluto was discovered the same year that Pluto the dog was created? Just another coincidence. Yeah. Right.
Okay. There's more things like that?
There's all sorts of stuff like that. You know, when you look at planets, this is what NASA shows us. And this is what we see when we take our high-powered telescopes. These things are here within the Earth system. They're not rocky planets like they tell us. They're energetic lights in the sky, right? If you look at here's a shot of Mars. Mars using the P1000. Does that look like a rocky ball with rocks and deserts and a rover on it? These are
I don't know even what. I don't know how.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I don't know even what. Perfect answer. That's exactly what it is. It's I don't know even what. Okay? Okay? But think about this. They used to be called wandering stars. Okay. They're all named after gods. And if you actually do the scientific analysis of what we're seeing, you know that they can't be a rocky ball. Think about this. Jupiter, what do they tell us about Jupiter? Jupiter is a gaseous planet, right?
Okay.
Jupiter, I'm trying to find
sure.
line.
Take your time.
Yeah. Where'd it go? All right. So Jupiter is a gaseous planet, right? And then they tell us, here is the picture of Jupiter, right? This is the picture everyone's seen. And then 2 years later, they go, oh, we just proved that Jupiter has a magnetic core because it has northern lights like Earth does. Look at these northern lights. Look at this. What's the problem here? These are exactly the same. This one's just darker. Every cloud is the same. Okay? Right? Everything is the same. Yeah. If you look, this is NASA saying, they showed us this. This is like a couple hours or a couple days time lapse of a probe heading to Jupiter. Look at this. Look at this storm spinning. Look at these clouds. They're going in opposite directions. Everything's moving, but somehow we took a picture over 2 years apart and every cloud is the same. What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
Photoshop.
Well, I think it's worse than Photoshop. I think it's just a model. I literally think it's just a model. This is a NASA visual artist creating a 3D globe. Wow. Okay.
And then how they move it? Like,
well, no, that other one, that's CGI. But when they show us the pictures of Jupiter, then we know that that's nonsense. Right?
Right.
Right. And then people will see what they want to see. Have you ever seen this picture? What is this?
I don't know.
What do you think it is?
What is it? probably they'll say it's another star, I guess.
Well, a lot of people go, oh, that's Jupiter, right?
Okay.
But it's really not. It's just a meadow with ducks and grass, okay? but people will see what they want to see.
Right.
Right? It's I'm trying to, let me find something else.
Yeah.
They use green screens and they can really create anything they want. Where's the one? You know what? I know it. It might be on this one. Something I want to show you on here. So they can create anything, right? All of this is not real. Like that's not real. They can create anything, right? And people just believe this. And that NASA uses these green screen facilities. This place is called the McCowd facility. And they have giant green screens in there. It's total nonsense, right?
And you know, if you look at the sky, sometimes you see, like there's a moving, here we go, like a star or something, and then people tell me that's the space
International
station.
Space Station. Well, I'll show you that in a second. But watch this. This is, look, spinning globe. They change it a little bit. They take out the background, and oh look, we're in space. There's Mars. Okay.
Right.
Right. How friggin' crazy is that?
Anything is possible.
Yeah. So let's talk about seeing the International Space Station, because that was a big one for me. I saw the International Space Station, and I saw it pass by, and I'm like, right, that doesn't work on a flat Earth. How does that work? Right.
Right.
And where is it? And so why can I never find it? There's an image that I wanted and I misfiled it, and it's around here somewhere. Oh yeah, here we go. So they tell us that the International Space Station is about the same size as the 747, a little bigger, not much.
Okay.
You ever stand next to a 747 on the runway? Pretty big plane, right? Gigantic. They're bigger than you realize. And wow, they're huge. But when you watch one flying at cruising altitude, it's tiny, right?
Yeah.
It's tiny. And you can't even make out the engines. You can make out the shape of the plane. They tell us that the International Space Station is 50 times higher, 50 times higher, right? But when they both transit the moon, here's an airplane, and here's supposedly the International Space Station. Both of these moons are the same size. Well, that means if these two objects are the same size, that they're at the same elevation.
Yeah.
So they're telling us, the airplane flies at 5 miles high, so the International Space Station's at 5 miles high. Or maybe you can deduct that they're tricking us. And when we see these transits and the flyovers, that it's an actual airplane pretending to be the International Space Station.
Just an airplane. Wow.
Just an airplane. Now, it's not just an airplane. We had a unconfirmed, but resonated true with me, NASA whistleblower who said that there's 5 International Space Station planes. They're B-2 bombers that have been retrofitted where much of their wings and some of their fuselage was replaced with transparent material. So it's see-through. And then they have an array of LED lights on the bottom.
Wow.
To light up with the same hue as the sun. So it looks like a sun's reflection. And 2 of them are based in Alaska, and then the other 3 are in other bases in other countries. And they take turns flying into position and tricking people that the International Space Station is up there. Wow. International Space Station is supposed to go on 17,500 miles an hour, but I watch it go from horizon to horizon in 8 minutes. I live on the East Coast in the United States. 17,500 miles an hour, 8 minutes later, it should be in California on the other West Coast, but people in California can't see it, and I still can. What am I seeing? I'm seeing an airplane flying airplane speed. That's all.
Wow.
And the whole transit thing, that's part of, I know, like, why would they fake it? To make people believe we live on a globe so they can be controlled.
And if we're talking about naked eye, so how, I mean, I don't know if I ever even saw the North Star. Is it something you know how to
Yeah,
find?
it's very easy. You know how to see the Big Dipper? The Big Dipper? You're in Israel, right?
Yeah.
So the Big Dipper is the Big Dipper. You can look at.
I think I know what you mean.
The Big Dipper, and when I say dipper, it's like a big spoon, right? The big spoon.
Okay.
Right. So you got the handle, and then you have the cup. Well, the last two stars on the cup, that one, and then the top one, you draw a line, and that points right to the North Star.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. And then the North Star, that's where it is. It's there at 10 p.m. It's there at 1 a.m. It's there at 5 a.m. It's there at 12 noon. It's there in January. It's there in February. It's there in June. It's there in July, because it never moves.
It's big. I mean, is it?
It's not that bright. It's not the dimmest star. It's not the brightest star. Everyone thinks, oh, the North Star is the brightest star. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's the star that doesn't move. It actually moves a tiny bit. If you did a time lapse for 24 hours somehow, like did it in the north when there's no light, it makes a tiny little circle. It moves like a half a degree, maybe a quarter of a degree. But it's the only star that is like around itself. It just makes a tiny little circle because if you were spinning a disc of stars and you had one exactly in the middle, that one's not going to move. But if you had one a fraction of a degree off the middle, it would make a tiny little circle.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah. So if you have if I'll ask you, maybe you already said it, but what is the best proof you have?
We can see too far. So if we live on a ball, on a ball, there is required to be a physical horizon, right? So here's a ball. I have my finger. You can see my fingernail. And as I go over the ball, there's a physical horizon.
Mm-hmm.
So, right? And you can't see my fingernail. Now, if you had a zoom, could you see my fingernail? You zoom in. Nope. It's behind a physical horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So on a flat Earth, we don't have a physical horizon. We have an optical horizon. So give me 1 second here.
Okay.
Oh. And so we have what's called an optical horizon. What is the horizon? The horizon is where the sky meets the ground, and you can't see any far because the angular size is too small. But if you zoom in, it actually just makes things bigger, and all of a sudden you can see there's a boat here, okay? Because I made it bigger. When I zoom out, its angular size gets smaller and smaller. These little waves, like my finger, get bigger and hide it in the foreground. These little waves in the foreground, and the entire thing disappears. Now, if you were a glober, you would think it went over the curve, but I just proved to you that it didn't. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Your eye can't resolve it. The waves are blocking it because it's too small, and now it's getting bigger. We're zooming in and making it bigger. Here it is, getting bigger. That's how it works.
Amazing.
Yeah. And we see it all the time. We see it all the time. When you zoom out, this guy, he'll disappear, but the sail is still there a little bit. Look, the island even disappears. Okay. Everything disappears over, it looks like it's over the horizon. Now look, plenty of horizon beyond this kayaker and this boat, but you can't see it. It just disappears. With your naked eye, you might look at this boat and go, yeah, that boat's right on the horizon. On a flat Earth, the horizon is optical. On a globe Earth, the horizon could also be optical. For example, whatever your height is, a 6 foot tall person on a ball 24,901 miles around, like they tell us, is required to see a physical horizon at just 3 miles because the drop is 6 feet on a ball. So that's the farthest that their horizon can be. Now, if it was a foggy day, maybe the horizon's only a mile away or half a mile away.
Wow.
But if it was a super clear day and we even took all of the air away, so it's just super clear, nothing's blocking you, you can't see past the physical horizon on a ball. But the days, you know, the conditions change and we can see farther. We can see things way, way farther than they want us to know. Then not that they want us to know, than we're supposed to see. We can see things that are measurable, provable, beyond where we should be able to see. That's all it took for me, because I saw these videos. I was like, well, you know what? I'm just not going to believe every video I see. And I went out and bought a Nikon P900 camera, and I zoomed in and I could see stuff. Not only is this boat going to disappear, so is the friggin' mountain. The entire thing's going to disappear because it's too small to see. So when someone says, well, how come I can't see across the ocean? How come I can't see Europe from America? It's because, what are you looking for? First, what's big enough in Europe that you can possibly see it? And two, you can't see, as they showed you with the sun fade out, that far. We can only see a certain distance.
And why is it pink?
That's because this is using an infrared camera.
Oh, okay.
So we could actually burn through some of that, and we could actually see even farther. With infrared technology, we're able to see things that would require the Earth to be 1,000 times bigger than they say, and still it doesn't work.
So that's how they make Mars with the infrared? Or...
No, I mean, Mars, they don't see Mars. When you zoom, I showed you what Mars looks like. It looks like an energy ball, you know?
No, I mean, the NASA guys.
Oh, yeah.
I also heard that the name NASA has like clues in it.
What's that?
The name NASA has clues in it, right? The name NASA has clues in it, like
clues.
Clues. Steve or something.
Well, you take the logo that goes right through NASA, and you can make it an anagram for Satan. And then NASA supposedly in Hebrew means to deceive.
Wow.
Yeah. Here is an example of how a horizon is optical. Now, there's no tide here. This is the time lapse through the day. We can see the beach. We can see the buildings. Okay.
Yeah.
And over the day, as the optics change, let me make this a little better. Look, the land disappears. Now, if you go there and a glober goes, oh, yeah, well, it's over the horizon. Well, how can it change back and forth? This is just optics.
Wow.
Optics. There's a great video. You have my app?
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, so the app shows if you hit the question mark and you click ships over the horizon, up comes a playlist, and if you go down to the third one, mirror line horizon, this is a great job this girl did, and I'm just gonna show you. So first, she starts out with an empty horizon, just like I showed you. Empty horizon. Look, nothing there.
Right.
Then she zooms in. I'm just going to jump forward. And she watches this ship. And she's making measurements showing that the top of the ship from the mast to the deck, and the ship is like three of those tall. And then as the ship goes away, and she's showing you it's passing another ship, it's making good time. she's showing that pink line is called the mirror line, where it's a reflection. This is a reflection, right? So people would think this is the horizon and the boat's going over. It's not. It's just a mirror. And as we go farther, things start to happen. These are optical things. The ship starts to get compressed. This is the mirror line right here. This is the real horizon, right? Wow. And the ship is doubled, right?
Yeah,
and if you watch it, she explains what's going on here. This little white thing here, I think that's a lifeboat. It basically just melts and goes away because the light off of it can't go through. Then she does a comparison to this buoy on how the ship is taller than the buoy, but when it goes a little farther, again, it's just optics.
Wow.
And then if you look at the ship, it's literally melting into the horizon.
Yeah.
And it's not going over the horizon. So it's still here. And when you watch this, then you understand that we just can't see that far. Light doesn't travel that far. And then especially over water, that's where the most water vapor is. And that's where, things just get hidden. It's not over the horizon. Someone go, that's the mast of the ship and the whole ship is below the horizon. No, it's not. We watched it and we watched the whole thing. This is just all that we can see to the very end. And then when they zoom back out, I think she zooms out at the end, the horizon is empty again, just like before. And the ship was much closer before. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
A while ago, I saw a shirt. I see lots of people going with NASA shirts, and I saw a shirt in Israel here, and they say, like, it says NASA in big on the top, and then on the bottom it says, like, you see, like in Chinese or something, like a phrase in Chinese. I don't know what it says, and then another small phrase. I'm looking for the picture. I picture that. Another small phrase in a different language. And then I look at it and I saw in Hebrew, it's just in Hebrew, and it says, I don't know if you know Hebrew curse words, but it says maniac. And that's like to say asshole. So NASA, assholes.
We call them nassholes.
Right. Okay.
Assholes. I was trying to see if I had one in my t-shirt shop, but I don't think I do. Yeah, there's lots of good shirts out there. I highly recommend people wear shirts because then someone will ask you a question. It starts the conversation. As long as they ask the question, then they're going to be listening for at least a short period of time.
Right. For closure, maybe you have like some kind of a message or something you want people to know.
Here's my message. Yeah. Here's my message. Flat Earth, the topic of Flat Earth isn't about the shape of the Earth. It's about the lie, and it's about control. And it's the reason the world is so screwed up right now, because people think we live on a spinning ball flying through space. And when you do that, you remove God, you remove the creation. There's some people go, well, I believe we live on a ball and I believe in God. Well, that's great. Yeah. But you're dishonoring God by not seeing his creation. There's even some quotes in religious books, the Bible and probably others, that basically say, once you see my creation, you can no longer deny my existence. And the evil people that run the world, they don't want you in a position where you can't deny the creator. They want you believing that you're insignificant, that you have no power, that you need government, that you have to, obey. Nobody has to obey anybody. The only power they have over us is in our imagination, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And So why flat earth? Well, when you wake somebody up, and as you know, you're a standing example. Once you see this deception, you can see through all the deceptions, right? But if you're spinning out of control, lost in an infinite universe, you're afraid, you're scared, you're insignificant, okay? Once you understand that we are at the center of creation, once you understand that your thoughts create your reality, once you understand that there's no problem with, there's no food shortage, there's no land shortage, there's no energy shortage, there's just an intelligence shortage right now. People don't understand. There used to be, 100 years ago, an advanced civilization living here on Earth. The whole, the 1800s, we're like, oh, there was the Wild West. No, we were just coming out of a reset there, and the reset's going on and on. World War I, World War II, all of this stuff. It's all about the resets. The Gulf War, part of the reset. And now they're trying to do it again. Every 100 years, they try to do it again and again and again.
So reset to what?
Reset to less people. You know about the Georgia Guidestones?
Yeah, I think I heard about it when they all the plan is there or something.
Yeah, they literally wrote it in stone on a monument that where is it? So it's this Stonehenge type thing in like a dozen languages. It has 10 commandments, and one of them is never let the world population rise over 500 million again. 500 million? Well, they say we're at 8 billion. That's like a 95% reduction.
I wonder if it's also a lie.
Yeah, well, but here's the thing. There's this little hole right here, right?
Okay.
What's that little hole about? When you look through that hole, guess what you see? You see Polaris. It never moves. This has been up for over 40 years. We're corkscrewing through space, traveling 4.5 billion miles a year, and Polaris has never moved from that hole. They're telling us we're on a flat, stationary plane. The rulers, the real rulers of this world, know where we live.
Oh, like the map of the map in the flag of the United Nations, right?
Absolutely. The United Nations, all of the agencies that run the world, they all use the flat earth map, right? And here is, these are the agencies that run the world. They all have the flat earth map. What's up with that?
It's like in order to keep the lie, they have to keep some truth out, or I don't know.
I don't know. The question is like, what is beyond the shoreline of Antarctica? And we don't know, but what if it was something like this? We live here. This is Antarctica. And then out here is more territory.
Land. Yeah.
More land, extra territory, extraterrestrials from the extra terra in the outer space.
Cool.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? But the idea that all the countries in the world have said, oh, no problem, we won't go to Antarctica, even though we're all fighting over space. Everybody agrees, the Antarctic Treaty, everyone agrees, don't go to Antarctica. We have to protect the penguins and the snow. Give me a break. That's nonsense.
Wow.
Yeah.
And on the other side, have you been to Alaska?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Just wonder if you feel something different about, is it a center? That's what.
Well, we had one of our flat earthers, and more than one probably. The sun is arcing around the Arctic and antarcing to and from the Antarctic.
Right. Okay. Now it makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, this is tropical Capricorn. It's not arcing around me. It's antarcing Antarctica. It's not. This is going around me. It's arcing the Arctic. Here's what I tell people. If you think flat earth is stupid, win the 3 Bitcoins. Give me one proof of the globe. But before you do, I just tell people every day, watch the daily video. Just tap that. Up comes the daily video. Here are the archives. If you missed any in the past, you want to just power watch them. Here's the frequently asked questions. hit that before you send me your proof because it's probably answered away here. There's all sorts of resources in here. All my interviews, including this one, will be right here.
Oh, cool.
Okay. You have all sorts of channels and stuff on here. Kids, little short ones for kids. Amazing. Mud floods, highly recommend you look into mud floods if you haven't done that. Books, right? Great books. On Tataria, you got Martin Leakey's books in here. Awesome. A whole bunch of stuff.
So much information that no one talks
so much.
about.
And wait, hold on. I think we have a I hit the flag button. We have Hebrew. Boom. The Hebrew playlist. Hit that.
Okay.
And up comes videos on flat earth in Hebrew.
Wow.
How about that, huh? Bet you didn't even know that was there.
I didn't know. I wanted to ask you in your way to explain it, what is 1984?
So do you know about George Orwell?
Yeah, I heard a book.
So he wrote a book called 1984 about how the whole world would be taken over tyrannically, where no one will be able to speak freely, spend money freely, travel freely. Huh. This is leading right to this. Okay. They're a little behind schedule, but it's here. Actually, George Orwell is dead, but he would rolling over in his grave going, wow, this is worse than I thought. So this is exactly what's going on right now. So it's crazy. And the stuff that they tell us, none of it's true. None of it. Right? Here, I got something that I haven't shown before. Let me see if I can.
Yeah.
If I can do this. Let me see if this works.
Remind me of something.
Okay, ready?
Wait. Yeah.
Okay. So they tell us that there's about 7.8 billion people in the world. And I'm not going to say the word for this, but the thing that they're sticking in everybody, they're saying that everyone in the world needs to get this, and now everyone needs to get 3. You need the first 2, and then the rooster, if you will. Okay?
Okay.
And they're saying, I forget the number now, but they're saying that right now they've given over 7.8 billion people the thing in the arm. Okay?
Right.
Interesting. How long has this thing been in existence? 2 years? Maybe let's say they knew about it 3 years ago. Okay. So during a year, there's 31,536,000 seconds per year.
Wow.
And let's say the V company could make 1 V every second. 24/7. They can make 1 V every second.
Like physically inject.
No. They could just make it.
Make it. Okay.
Just make it, make the vial, and put it in a box. 1 every second.
Right.
Okay. So there's 5 V companies. So if they all made 1 every second, they'd make 157,680,000 in a year. So you got 5 companies all making 1 every second, 24/7, no weekends off, no holidays. So in a year, they would make 157 million. But let's say each one of those V companies has 5 manufacturing plants.
Right.
They don't, but let's pretend that they do. So they got 5 plants working around the clock. So they would make total 788,400,000 in a year. Okay. It would take 10 years to make 1 dose for each person on Earth at that rate.
Wow.
What's going on here? There's 2 options. 1, they're lying about how many they made and how many people have done it. Or 2, more likely, they're lying about the well, it would go along with that. They're lying about how many people are on Earth. I don't think there's 7.8 billion people here.
I agree with you.
So this is impossible. This is impossible. Impossible.
Wow.
And that's 1. Most people have had 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Doesn't make sense. So not only do they have to make it, they have to distribute it and deploy it. Okay?
Wow.
Numbers. This is a physical impossibility. So there you go. You can find me at flatearthdave.com. All my links, my YouTube channels, my interviews, the app.
Do you know about the word? It's a very, I'll show it to you now also. It's a very known word, I think, in Hebrew. You see this one here?
Yeah.
It says, if you switch the letters in Hebrew from you know, what you have on your shirt, and you put it in Hebrew, you get the book. You know what's the book?
No.
It's like when someone is a hold of, like someone that is holding a terror mode. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Someone that is out. He's just acting and he's not aware of himself.
Okay.
So that's if you switch the word.
So they're like a zombie.
Right.
Okay. I'm in 100%.
And the last one, do you have the photo where you have like all the models of the flat earth from the history?
Yes.
I love it. It's interesting.
This one?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Flat, 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 up, round. Flat, 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 flat.
That's when I see this one, that's what makes me think about all the mysticism and all of that, you know. So maybe for another time. Thank you, David.
All right, David, thanks so much. And send me a link when you post this up and I'll share it on the app.
Sure. Thank you again. Have a good day.
All right, man. See you. Thanks. Bye-bye.